for more right here on The Stuff of Legend. Hey everybody, welcome back to The Stuff of Legend. My name is D-Lo and I have another video for you guys. I wanted to go over with you guys some of the most awesome breaking news in recent days. You guys have been following me. You guys know that I've done the Brightburn trailers, the trailer breakdowns, theories, and whatnot, and you guys have been supporting that. We've just cracked over 11,000 views, which is insane for one video for me. That's crazy. Most of my views are like around 40, 100, 200. Some of my good videos are like 4, 5, 6, 7. My next best video is 1,000, so I'm really grateful for those. But holy cow, you guys blew me away with your support of my Brightburn trailer with James Gunn, the theory thereof, and which came to fruition, came true, that he is set to direct and write Suicide Squad 2 for DC, which is super awesome, super impressive. I can't wait. So let's get into some of this talk, all right? So next up. Excellent. All right, we're back. So I wanted to just say, first of all, thank you guys so much for, supporting the channel. I want to ask you guys a question. Do you support James Gunn being reinstated to Marvel Disney? Whether you do or not, I want you to comment what you think you would do down below. But I wanted to show you guys the headline, okay? And before I do that, I wanted to give you guys a quick update with James Gunn's situation. So, James Gunn's situation is this. Disney fired James Gunn back in July of 2018. Then there was the letter of the Guardians of the Galaxy cast unanimously supporting him in an open letter calling for him to be reinstated. James Gunn then started producing Brightburn, basically calling out Marvel and DC, saying, look, you wanna fire me? That's fine. I don't need you. I'm gonna keep making superhero films no matter what. And hey, by the way, while I'm at it, DC, check this out. I'm gonna make a film parodying your greatest project, so you'll recognize I'm on the market. Next, after that, they had Dave Bautista getting really upset on social media, which was clearly obvious. He's a very vocal man. Then there was all the media hype. Who's gonna pick up James Gunn? Boss Logic did an insane Bane suggestion for Dave Bautista, which looked amazing, with hoping that James Gunn could possibly get in with DC, and then at that same time maybe Dave Bautista, who was talking about quitting anyway, he was gonna break contract, and if he did, not many people were gonna hire him. But if that doesn't deter Warner Brothers, they could get a really awesome Bane out of that deal with Dave Bautista, who's playing Drax. And then after that, you have Suicide Squad 2 director, writer confirmed. James Gunn was hired with DC. And then after that, you have redoing the cast. There was talk about complete rebooting, complete everything, all new, like script, character roster, all of that was going to be all new, until we got confirmation that Margot Robbie would reprise her role as Harley Quinn. And then shortly after that, Will Smith announced he was stepping down. And after Will Smith stepping down, Idris Elba was confirmed to be playing Deadshot, or at least to be in talks to be playing Deadshot. So as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure that he is Deadshot, but I will verify with that in a later video as well. So Idris Elba is Deadshot, and now we have confirmation that Marvel said, James Gunn, we want you back. And now he's reinstated to do Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with his original Guardians of the Galaxy 3 script. He is writing, he's directing. He's going to be fully on board, back with the crew and the team, the way that it was meant to be. And I think this is super awesome. So I wanted to show you guys one of the articles for this exact story. So let me go ahead and see if I can click over here. All right. So now we're in. I'm going to be blocking the ads on the left side, so just bear with me for a minute. But Disney reinstates director James Gunn for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. This is coming from Deadline, which is a pretty reliable source. And here they have the exclusive story. Redemption and second chances have long been superhero movie staples, and today it looks like life has imitated art. I've learned that Disney has reinstated James Gunn as the writer and director of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and I've confirmed it with Marvel's camp and James Gunn's camp. The decision to rehire Gunn, he was fired last July, blah, 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 about the tweets. We already know this. I already kind of recapped that for you guys. It says after he was fired, Walt Disney Studios chairman Alan Horn, who's the second in command under Bob Iger. It's Bob Iger at the top, the CEO. Then you have Alan Horn, and then Kevin Feige. And Kevin Feige only answers to two people, really. It's Alan Horn and then Bob Iger. And so in that stacking order, Alan Horn's the number 2 guy, met with James Gunn on multiple occasions to discuss the situation after he had been fired. Persuaded by Gunn's public apology and his handling of the situation after, Horn decided to reverse course and reinstate Gunn. This is contrary to a lot of the news that we had seen after the fact, where Alan Horn himself had said they were not going back on that and that all decisions were final and they had no intentions to reinstate Gunn, which is shocking to learn, especially after what they're saying here. But I'm going to go ahead and see if we can just keep on moving. He tries to, the guy, let me see if I can go up and just check the name of the guy who wrote this one. So Mike Fleming Jr. Wrote this on March 15th, which is yesterday technically. I mean, I'm at 1 in the morning right now, so it's been less than 24 hours since this news broke. But he's got a couple of things I'm going to go ahead and skip, just because I try not to involve politics too much. You guys will be able to see this on your own when you read this article. Not a big deal, but he kind of bends one direction and tries to put the blame on one side politically, which it totally wasn't. It was a mixed party, nevertheless. And I don't need to get into that. Never mind. So with you guys can make your own assumptions and assertions there from the evidence. So next it says here, Gunn's return to Guardians of the Galaxy 3 got complicated when he signed on to write and direct Suicide Squad sequel for Warner Bros. And DC. Marvel Studios has agreed to commence production of Guardians of the Galaxy 3 after Gunn completes Suicide Squad 2. This is the big part of this video right here, is that he is the director and writer for Suicide Squad 2, which was clearly inspired by, but did not achieve the feeling that was Guardians of the Galaxy with James Gunn. That changed the game for superhero films. No one knew that you could do a superhero film like Guardians of the Galaxy until James Gunn came along and said, no, we're doing it this way. Then Suicide Squad, after that, said, you know what? We really like that. Let's try to do that with Suicide Squad. And it totally didn't work. I mean, it kind of did. Like part of it was really good, but they really got convoluted with who the villain was and what their primary story was. They neglected to bank on the Joker, which was the entire goal of the marketing. And then after that, it kind of crumbled because they just didn't know what they wanted to do with that film. So with this, it's really exciting because James Gunn is the inspiration for Suicide Squad, and he now is getting his chance to do that for Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers and DC are going to get a really awesome Suicide Squad film. I'm very confident in that. And I think that when James Gunn returns to Guardians, he's already got that plan in place. The script's already written. He's already done with the writing of that. Now he's just got to go and direct the film. And I think that's going to be absolutely wonderful. We've had an amazing 2 films. The first one I think was the best, and then the second one was also very good. Not as good as number 1, but it was very good. And I think number 3 is not going to be anything less than number 2. I can't imagine it will be, especially given what we know about Infinity War. Sorry, guys. It's pretty late over here. Pardon me, and I've been up for a very long time today. Nevertheless, I'm really, really excited about Warner Brothers getting some James Gunn action, and then also Marvel. And you'll notice they don't say here that he's going to stop relationship with Warner Brothers. They just say that after he's done with Suicide Squad 2, he'll take some time and do Guardians 3, which means he might be still able to pick his movies as he wishes from either camp. It doesn't necessarily matter, I don't think. And it's probably contingent him coming back to Marvel and solving the problem of who's going to pick up Guardians for them. He probably gets to say, you know what, I'll do it, but I'm going to continue my relationship with DC as like a linchpin, like a leveraging pin to say, look, if you want me, then cool, but it's going to be basically my terms now. Like if you want me, I'm a rare commodity and my time is limited. So you're going to have to make do with what I can give you. And so I think this is really good for James. It's really good for the fans because competition is going to allow the industry to thrive. And yeah, I think it's just going to be good all around. Making the whole thing easier, though was the fact that Marvel Studios never met with or considered any other director for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, despite speculation that Taika Waititi and Vice Helmer, Adam McKay were in the mix. Now, this is interesting because a lot of people were doing speculation, including myself. I made a video about Taika Waititi being a possible replacement for James Gunn. And I did like that idea. Of course, it was not ideal. The ideal situation is having James Gunn there. But given the understanding that Alan Horn said he wasn't coming back and James Gunn had already kind of moved on, we were looking at, okay, maybe Taika Waititi would be good for that. Who should we get for that? I don't know. And it's interesting to hear that Marvel Studios never met with or considered any other director for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which I think is probably a lie. But I don't doubt that they didn't meet with anybody else, but I do doubt that they didn't consider anybody else. They probably asked around a little bit, just kind of poking into the ether, just saying, hey, I wonder what would it be like? What would your take be on this if you had to do that? And everyone's just like, no, dude, that's James' thing. We can't touch that. There's no way. The cast and crew is going to hate me. And so no one wanted to touch that. So then it says here, Marvel Studios had remained mum on all the details concerning Guardians of the Galaxy 3 as the Kevin Feige-led division turned its focus towards Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame. Marvel this week set Destin Daniel Cretton to direct Shang-Chi, which I'm really excited about. That's a martial arts-based Asian actor character that's going to be in Marvel, which I'm super down for. That sounds so fun. I've never read any Shang-Chi comics. I don't really know a lot about the character, but I will do my research so that I can talk about him for you guys, and then I'm sure that it'll be just fine. I love martial arts. I've been watching a ton of Scott Adkins films lately. I'm super pumped about martial arts. I grew up on martial arts films. I've studied, I've trained, I've even taught martial arts at a gym before, and it's just like, it's one of the best things you could ever do. It's so fun, and it's so cool when you see superheroes using martial arts, which is why Ben Affleck is one of my top 2 favorite Batman of all time, because his fighting style was just legendary. So nevertheless, it continues on. Prior to his dismissal, Gunn had written a script which Marvel confirmed would be used for the 3rd Guardians of the Galaxy installment. I expect Gunn to confirm all of this as he supports the release of Brightburn, which I've done the trailer for, which has now crossed 11,000 views. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. It says that David Yarovsky directed, Elizabeth Banks star that he produced, and Sony releases May 24th, which is going to be super sick. I can't wait to see that. That's the first time I've ever been excited about any kind of horror-related genre movie ever. I don't do horror. I just don't. But I'm going to see Brightburn. That's going to be so sick. And then it just talks about the open letter that was signed by the cast, how everyone's excited to have him back, blah, blah, blah. How the previous 2 Guardians films made $1.6 billion worldwide, with the second one outgrossing the first. So it's a franchise that obviously Disney can't afford to not continue to bank on, so they need James Gunn. And it's just really good. And then down here, they read James Gunn's apology, which was delivered last July. And this is according to Alan Horn, one of the things that set his mind back on the path of, you know what, this guy's honorable, let's get him back in here. And so I'll go ahead and put that on the screen for you guys so you guys can take a look at that. I'm not going to go ahead and read it because that's already in the past. I've already covered this one, but I really do appreciate that the writer of this article took the time to cite this so that you guys could read that for yourselves. I'm just pumped. I'm just so excited because I'm not like an exclusive fan, right? I am a jack of many fandoms. I'm a fan of much fiction, as you guys know by now. So when you guys, like ask me what I think about Batman or what I think about Marvel, I'm going to give it to you straight. If you guys say like, what's your take on Batman the Animated Series? I'm going to tell you I freaking love it. I grew up on it and I watch it to this day. And I can't get enough of that stuff. I have tons and tons of, well, I'm not going to show them because I'm going to make a different video about that, but I've got literally a mountain, a stack on my desk right here, just off camera, of a bunch of Marvel and DC and Lord of the Rings Funko Pops, and then a big, gigantic shelf, like a custom big old shelf on that side with probably 160 pops or something like that over there. Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Power Rangers, some of the Fox like X-Men and whatnot. And then, video game stuff and blah, blah, blah. There's tons of I collect things, but it's fandom things. And when you say James Gunn, are you doing DC or are you doing Marvel? I say, please let him do both. And this is why I think that he will do both, is because Disney is okay with him finishing Suicide Squad 2 and then doing Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Now, one thing they did, which was either very smart or very revealing, but they confirmed that he's doing Guardians of the Galaxy 3 before he's done with Brightburn and before he's done with Suicide Squad, which means there will be a lot of time before we get to see a Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but that doesn't matter because he's already in agreement. He's already set. He's already on contract. The deal is done. He's ready to move forward with Marvel as well, but he's also going to be moving forward with DC. So right now, his current contracts are coexist, which I think is incredibly good news because I would love to have James Gunn continue to do work for Warner Brothers and DC, and then have some of the other directors that have done some wonderful work for Marvel step over into the DC realm and do some awesome work for DC. Now, I'm not just talking about like Joss Whedon coming in to pick up a halvesy movie left over by Zack Snyder, who, by the way, is very talented, but those two don't have a similar tone or style, and it kind of butchered Justice League, because if they had done all Joss Whedon or given him the budget to go all the way in with Joss Whedon's style, it would have been better. It would have been a lot better if they had just, if Zack Snyder didn't have the tragedy in the family or whatever, and he didn't have to step down, his tone would have been a lot better because it would have been uniform. He would have had one feel for his film. I do personally think that Joss Whedon's thing would have been better than Zack Snyder's. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to explain myself in a second video because I don't want to go too long on this one. But I personally don't believe there's a Snyder cut. I don't think we'll ever get a Snyder cut because he didn't finish the film. He didn't even get halfway. He got about, well, maybe I guess it was halfway, but he got 60 to 70% through the film. That's not a lot, guys. I mean, that's a little over half, but it's not enough to finish a film. He didn't have nearly enough to finish. And so that's why Joss Whedon had to come in and almost double the budget, because he had to go in there and reshoot a bunch of stuff in order to make the ending of the film work. He had to do a lot of work to just pick it back up where Zack left off. It didn't make sense. There is no Snyder cut coming. It's not a thing. There was a Snyder cut for Batman vs. Superman because he finished that film. There was no Snyder cut for Justice League because he didn't finish the film. He didn't have enough footage. The rest of it is Joss Whedon's. There's no Snyder cut. And so that one is going to be a little bit triggering for some of my DC fans out there. I am one of you guys. I love Zack Snyder. I love DC, and I've probably enjoyed the DC EU a lot more than most of you guys. I've been a lot less critical, not for the sake of being less critical, but because I actually enjoy things like Batman vs. Superman, even though they, did a terrible job with like Doomsday, and like Justice League was weird in the way that they went with Steppenwolf and all that stuff. But it was nonetheless very enjoyable, and I wish good things for both Marvel and DC, and James Gunn, as a writer and director, is good things for Marvel and DC. So I'm excited for that. But you guys let me know what you think down below, whether you think that he's too controversial, if you think that he's a risk, if you think that they're going to drop him again. What do you guys think? I want to hear about it down below in the comments. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure to hit the subscribe button so that you can be one of us. You can be part of the Stuff of Legend family. And then if you guys really want to support me, make sure to hit the subscribe button, but also right next to the subscribe button, there's a bell icon. So after you subscribed, you have the option to click the bell next to the subscribe button after you subscribed. And then that will allow you to turn on notifications so that you can be alerted right away when I go live next time. That way you guys don't have to miss one thing. You can always be here whenever I go live, just like right now, so we can engage in the comments next time. I know it's really late right now, so most of you guys are probably in bed already, but it's okay. I forgive you. You'll watch this one after the fact. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys stay tuned for more right here on The Stuff of Legend.